You're fine.
All right. What's going on, Jesse? How are you?
What's going on, Nathan? Good to see you.
Oh, dude, it's good to see you. Hey, man, it is an honor and a pleasure to have you on the Investor Thrive Painless Wholesaling podcast. Thanks for coming and giving me the opportunity, bro.
Dude, it's great to see you and talk to you again. It's been a minute. I still remember. It felt like just the other day when I first met you. Was that about a year ago or so?
Bro, it was a while ago. What, dude? I think it was at the beginning of the year because I went down there. Dude, you've honestly had a pivotal like influence on my life, right? And we talked
Thank you.
for what, dude, like 20, 30 minutes or and but you really helped me out. And let me kind of tell you why. You might not know, but let's get into this. So when I sat down with you and you were like, telling me about what you did and what you started, after we talked a little bit, you introduced me to Kyle, the affiliate guy. I
Yep.
started working with Kyle. And just I've been doing the batch thing, because I love batch. I already use it, dude.
I
So
appreciate you. Thank you
great,
very much.
yeah, great service. So you just put me in contact with a bunch of people who have helped me grow. So first of all, thank you. All right.
Absolutely. I'm glad to help in a small way, but I just made some connections. You're the one that's putting the work in. So, congratulations to you and all your success.
Thank you, man. And it is kind of crazy. Tell me how life is interesting, how you can just make a connection, like for like maybe a 15, 20, 30-minute combo, and it can just have such a big impact. I mean, isn't that crazy?
It's the world works in mysterious ways, my friend. It's wild, and I've had those happen for me as well. As talking to someone one time is a lot of people give you different advice. It's just who gives it to you at the right time or it lands the right way to make you go make those decisions or those impacts that you're working on. Or it's really weird how it works. It's kind of crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. And that's kind of what we're here to talk to you about today, Jesse, is about your journey and maybe some of the impacts other people have had in your life to get you to where you're at right now. Cause I'm very interested. So you are, just for people that don't know Jesse, he's, running Batchleads, which is a great company. And, maybe a lot of people don't know the man behind the great product. Right. So, that's why I'm bringing you on here. Let the world know. So, for Jesse, for people that might not know who you are, can you give us a kind of an intro to a little bit about yourself? So you, in your own words.
Yeah, I'm the CEO of Batch Service. I was an active real estate investor until about 2 years ago, for the simple fact that we went all in on supporting the community and building this product. It was really hard to run a bunch of different companies, but yeah, I was a full-time real estate investor, wholesaler, flipper, buy and holds from 2014 till uh, about 2020, and then we shut down actively real estate investing so we could focus on servicing the community of you guys and making sure that we're giving the product and growing the product to where y'all could have success. So it's been a pretty wild journey for sure.
Dude, I bet. So did you have any experience in running a software company before getting into Batch?
No, I never intended to build a software company. We were just trying to solve problems
Yeah.
inside our businesses. So my partners, Annie and Evo,
Hmm.
they had their own wholesale company. I had my own, and we met at a mastermind and we just started helping each other on the business. And then Evo's like, "Hey man, I found these really good skip tracing numbers, or I found a new product that I'm trying to sell, or do you want to use it?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll
Hmm.
try it." And then I was like, "Dang, this is really good. I think I have some people that could use it too." And then it just slowly turned into a business, and then went from just selling, skip tracing to creating the software and the products. And we truly had no clue what we're doing. It was
Really? Wow.
we had to learn a ton, and we had to learn a ton fast. And it was it's just kind of been a rocket ship over the last 4.5 years since we started this. And luckily the three of us love to learn, love to read, love to ask the right questions, and luckily we're able to hire a bunch of great people that helped us along the way, because we truly didn't know what we're doing at first, and it was all trial and error at the beginning.
Dude, I really respect the fact that you're saying, hey, in the beginning, like you didn't know what you're doing, and it was trial and error. Cause sometimes I think when people they see businesses like yours, they're like, oh man, they just had it, right? They just got it. they just rocketed shipping it from the beginning, right?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, quickly we had some really good engineers and developers, so we've always had a really solid product and a really good product. It was learning how to service our clients and understanding, you know, all the different nuances that go into owning a software company. And that was, we got some mentoring, we got some coaching programs, and we also just learned a lot and read like books are the key to everything. I love learning. I love reading. I love listening to audibles, and
Wow.
that's really what's helped us is learning about different things. You know, I was like, I want to learn about customer success, and then there's a book called Never Lose a Customer Again, and that changed a lot of how I thought about things and did things. And it's just it's awesome. There's so many resources. You just have to go out and find them and understand how to implement them.
Wow, man. And let me ask you this. How much of the success of the product and building it do you feel like came from you being a real estate investor previously and understanding like what real estate investors go through?
A lot of it, definitely a lot of it. But that was us understanding. And now that we're not actively real estate investing,
Mhm.
we lean on our customers and the coaches and the people like you that promote it. Is all we want is feedback and understanding what's working, what's not working, what's new to come, what can we build to service you guys to, at the end of the day, get more deals. And
Yes. Yeah.
we've always been focused on user feedback. That's, I mean, that's how great products grow. And that's been our biggest thing, is talking to people that are using it and people that are having success. And then also understanding the people that aren't having success, what tools and what things can we do to help them as well.
Yeah, and I think it's your platform's really powerful, and it even became more powerful with Batchleads 3.0, right? You added the driving for dollars in there, and previously, I think it was batch driven, wasn't
Yeah.
that? So they were on different platforms, correct? Like batch driven.
Right.
So,
Yes.
so what made you want to combine it? Was it just because you believed like it would be more accessible to people not having those different products, or what? Yeah, what made you want to combine?
A lot. It's a great question. To be honest with you, it's people are like, well, what one do I have? What should I use? Well, I want both, but I want this and that. It wasn't a great user experience. And all these people are in the batch ecosystem. And
Mhm.
how do we make a better product for a customer? And at the end of the day, it was collapsing batch driven into batch leads. So you could get the best of both worlds. And financially, it may not have been short term the best thing that we could do, because we have revenue there. We're collapsing that
Right.
in. We're doing all these different things. But at the end of the day, we want to do what's best for our customers and for our users, and that is the best thing for them to have more success. And that's the route we decided to go. We're kind of led by,
Mhm.
you know, how can we help the customer, and how are they going to have a better experience inside our products.
That's awesome. Okay, so it's a customer experience, which you've read the book. I think you said Never Lose a Customer. So, if they're tied to multiple things they use in one platform, right, then maybe they're more likely to stay, right? Than being
It's not even that. It's people have two different logins, two different billings. It wasn't a great experience for the batch ecosystem. And it's something we're working towards getting together even further in the future. But at the end of the day, it's just we if it was the right thing to do, and a lot of people were asking for it for a long time. And as I said, we listened to our customers, and that's what they were asking for.
That's really cool. I mean, I'll be the first one to say, like, I also struggled with that because I had batch leads, and I was like, well, batch driven, should I get that? So I think putting them together is just money. But you did say there could be a potential issue with transferring all the existing customers from that platform to that. I guess if you want to share, what are you doing to make the transition easy from people that are on batch driven?
No issues. It's just some people may just be like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't exactly how I wanted it. But for the majority,
Yeah.
this is the best route to go. So
Okay.
you're never going to be able to please every single person, because I'm sure there's plenty of people that just wanted batch driven just for batch driven. But uh, it was just over and over and over again, is people wanted this to be inside batch leads, and that's what we had to do.
Is it a plan in the future to combine batch dialer with the batch leads and just have all in one, or do you have to keep them separate for some reason?
You'll see. That's all I could say.
Oh, snap. I'm diving deep because these are the questions I feel like people want to know. They want to know, what's going down. And I love it. You guys are always innovating. And I think it's awesome. So I am curious. I think you said something about a mastermind. That's how you met your business partners. Is that right?
Yeah, it was called the Go Giver Mastermind. Brandon Simmons
That's what I wanted to
actually
ask you. Yeah.
holds them, and he was like Sean Terry's right-hand man back in the days, doing stuff on his own now, but, uh, that's where I met Brent, like, really met Brent, or really, like, really got to know, like, so it was all the biggest players in Phoenix. It was Pace was there,
Can you
Jameel
believe
was
that?
there, Brent was there, Steve
Awesome.
was there, me, Andy and Evo, Danny Jared, Carlos Reyes, Sal. There's some big swingers. It's just been really fun to see all the success all of us have had in different ways, and I'm so grateful for Brandon and putting that together when he did. Now, um, none of us attend it anymore. It kind of morphed into something different, but man, that was, when you want to talk about pivotal points in my journey and all of it, not just Batch, but real estate investing, and
Right.
getting around the people that push me and the people that have huge goals that made me want to have huge goals and think so much bigger than I was thinking at the time. That was the room I got in that really changed my life for sure.
Dude, and I'm sure Brandon feels extremely happy, that he's able to provide a platform or an environment where people could do that. Brandon has had a giant impact in my life. So I'll just tell you my experience with Brandon. So me and my business partner at the time, I don't have a business partner now, but we started doing nationwide wholesaling, right? So we followed the criteria or whatever they told us to do. We turned on nationwide pay-per-click, spent tons of money, and we couldn't sell our deals because we were getting leads in the middle of nowhere. So
Right.
I tell people this, we went like 50, 60K in debt, but we're like, hey, we think it'll work. And we went to Brandon because we heard Sean Terry at the time, like he was doing nationwide pay-per-click.
Mhm.
So we're like, maybe we're just doing it wrong. So we reached out, got in touch with Brandon before we talked to Sean. And we're like, dude, we're in mad debt. Like, I'm not an idiot. I just don't think there's something we're doing wrong and we just need help. So Brandon, we joined the six-figure syndicate with Sean, but Brandon personally coached me and my business partner without asking for a dime to help me
Wow.
out. He was just like, hey, I'll help you guys out. Once you guys get out, you can get me back. So he helped me. We got out of debt within like 2 months. We did like
Wow.
a giant big deal from what he showed us. And now we were flying ever since. And obviously there's rocky stuff. The market's kind of funky right now, but yeah, dude, Brandon had a huge impact, and it's crazy how he had an impact in your life and my life. And look, I even think we might have been no, actually Steve Trang told me to reach out to you, but still, like, it's crazy how it's all connected, right?
Right.
It's
It's
amazing.
wild. But Steve was through Brandon as well, and that's how I built the relationship with Steve, to then have you come on the show and tell you to reach out to me, because I
Dude.
mean, a lot of stuff stems from Brandon for sure.
Well, dude, Brandon, if you're watching this, thanks, brother. So let me ask you about so what are you planning on doing? I guess what's the exit strategy? I'm curious. Are you wanting to just build Batch forever, or do you want to sell it, or do you have an idea of what you're trying to do?
Honestly, right now we have plans to continue to build it, and we have roadmap 3 years, out of what we want to do. But I don't have truly one way or the other. I just want to continue to do what we're doing, and if someone comes and presents an opportunity to buy us for something that we think's fair, it's something we'd be open to. But it's not, the goal is not, this is what we're gonna go sell for, this is what we're gonna go do. Like, our goal is to just keep building a badass product that people want to use. Like,
Right.
that's the focus. And you have to be prepared to sell, so you have to be buttoned up. The best thing about having to be prepared is you have to have a lot of stuff in place, but all those things in place actually make your business stronger. So it's nice to understand the things that need to do to be acquired, but all those things that need to be done strengthen your business and strengthen ways for you to make sure that you're giving the best service to your customers.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. So you talk about, we talked about growing your company, and hiring is a huge part to growing a business that can scale and can grow. How's your experience been with hiring? Were you just good at hiring from the get-go, or did you hire some people that maybe was a bad decision? How was the hiring process as you've grown this?
Um, I mean, that's actually probably one of the biggest mistakes we made was not as we were really trying to grow. We didn't understand the importance of HR or of like we never had no concept because in wholesaling or real estate investing, no one has a recruiting manager or someone that's recruiting for them. So we were very late to that show to where it would take all of us time as owners to like put out these ads and interview people or friends of friends and all these different things we were a little late to hire our first HR person to really help. HR isn't just there for HR. They're there. They also do payroll. They do all these different functions to where making sure people are getting the things inside your operation that they need. And then soon after getting our first recruiter was a huge deal for us. And now we have 5 or 6.
Did you say 5 or 6 recruiters?
Correct.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So their job is just to find good talent.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. That's
Like
awesome.
listen to think of like Facebook and those Google have like thousands of recruiters. I have a handful. So
Wow.
that's how companies grow is you need talent and you need to have people outreaching and it's not just putting something on Indeed and waiting for someone. People are actively sourcing, you know, different places and areas to try and recruit people and talent to come work for you.
Yeah, so that kind of makes me think about I went to Arizona last week and I saw you at Batch. Well, you weren't there. I hope you're feeling better. You
Yeah,
all
I'm
right,
good.
brother?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So, but I went there and my brother-in-law also lives, sorry, my cousin lives in AZ, and he was telling me that for hiring, he works for Microsoft and he does tech sales. He like works for the government and all that stuff. But he says like with hiring, that if you just like submit like an Indeed application, like they don't even care. It's mainly like recruiters, headhunters, and if you know someone, but they also don't want to bring someone that could give them a bad rap, right? So they're only like really getting the best people.
Mm.
Because the recruiter, like if a recruiter's just bringing in like terrible people, they're probably going to fire the recruiter, right?
Right. No, each department has different criterias and their screenings, and it's wild how much goes into bringing on talent and making sure that they're a culture fit and all those things. 'Cause you don't want to bring someone on that's not going to be a fit. They're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy, and
Well, there's a
um,
cost to it, right? Like you actually spend a lot of money hiring the wrong person, right?
absolutely. And at the end of the day, you want to have a great culture, and you want to make sure that they're going to fit into that and be a right fit as well. So there's a ton that goes into it, and we've made a ton of mistakes on hiring people, the wrong people. We've hired a lot of right people as well, but um, when you hire wrong, it hurts. So a lot of people are quick to hire. I would say that should be like your most stringent process. Even if you're small, it's even more important because someone could set you back or really drive revenue down if they're not the right person in that role.
Dang, yes. And the recruiters that you have, are they do they do they have a specific department they're recruiting for, or is it they just recruit for all? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's specific that different people are recruiting for different things.
Okay. So tell me, I think when we met last time at your office, you talked about OKRs, and I've read the book OKRs. I have a couple books on it. How much has OKRs impacted your business?
So OKRs, for you guys that don't know, it's called objectives and key results. It's a way to track goals for each quarter, each year, so on and so forth. And I passionately spoke to you about that on the importance of it.
You
So
showed me it,
I
brother.
mean, it literally changed our business, changed how the whole entire organization worked because it aligns you from the CEO all the way down to uh, every single person with every different type of task because we have a overarching goal and everyone has to be clicking and doing their part to make sure that we get there. And it's a great way to have the organization understand, you know, why you're important and what you're working on and understanding what we're working towards. And it really aligns the team from the bottom up and the top down.
Yeah, and I'll be real. I've read the OKR book, and my mind is almost it's like blown because I'm like, man, it's so simple, right? But it's like, and it must be for me. I feel like in your position to be extremely difficult to line like the very top to, like you said, have everyone line in and see how they integrate and work together. Has that been difficult to try and get everyone aligned in the same, I guess, in the OKR system?
Well, it's a full week and a half of meetings, and you have the executive team that's talking with the man. So it's just layer by layer, everyone being on the same page. It's not perfect, and I don't think anyone does it perfectly, but you're continually learning and changing and doing things to make sure that we could better align the company as a whole. But honestly, yeah, it's just it's not that hard, but it's actually the hardest thing because there's so much planning that goes in. You have to have a lot of numbers and a lot of data to make these decisions and to be able to track and measure
Mhm.
to make sure people are doing. So you have to really write your objectives in a way that are measurable, even if it's not a super measurable thing. You have to be able to measure it because you have to track it and you have to be able to score it at the end of the quarter.
Right, and that's the key, like, is it measurable, right? If you can't measure it, then it's not really an object. I guess you can't really plan it out, right? If there's
Exactly.
which I think all of us have always, at least me, I've set goals in my life and it's like not even measurable at all. But this is I'm assuming it's trained your brain to be like, look at it, things like, hey, the right way to scale out and grow.
But you could use it for your personal life too, which is great.
Yeah. And do you also use what's the platform? I can't remember. It's a software that they have for OKRs. Do you remember what it's called?
That's called Ally is what we
Ally.
use. I think Microsoft just actually bought them.
Yeah, so Ally, that's money. I mean, I looked into it because I was getting into the OKRs as well. But in the wholesaling business, it's probably not as prevalent as in, a software company, right? I mean, there's a lot more teams and stuff.
I disagree. You could have a startup with 3 people. I still think OKRs are just as important for anything. So I'm not going to let you off the hook here. I think you should do them, and
I
they
thought you
are
were with me.
no, no, because it's just like, okay, let's start with your objective, right? Your
Mhm.
objective is to make X amount of revenue this quarter.
Right.
Um, who's responsible for what, and how do you get there, and how do you plan that out? Like, how is that any different than what I'm doing?
You're right. I mean, you're right. Don't let me off the hook, man. I'm about to go get that sign up for Ally right now. You got an
It's not
affiliate
as
link for him?
I mean, there's all these different ways to do it. It's not super expensive. As I said, it just depends. But I mean, yeah, I think it's worth doing. But it took us about a year to even get it reasonably decent. It was tough. It's hard because you
Yeah.
have to think differently. But like, let's use wholesaling for example, right?
Right.
I want to do 100K in revenue. Let's just make it easy for the quarter. So
Okay.
that's what, $33,000 a month.
Mhm.
So then you have to think about, okay, how many leads do I have to get? So you have to know your numbers, right? You have to know your numbers to do this. How many leads do I have to generate? Um, what's the average cost per contract for each acquisition rep? What's my dispo rate, success rate of selling them? And
Mhm.
you're kind of reverse engineering then who's responsible for what. So let's say the marketing person, or that could be yourself. You could have a bunch of these roles, but you still have to have these roles. Is
Right.
okay, how many leads am I responsible for getting? Each different lead source. How many leads do I need to get? What's my budget? There's all these different things. And then just knowing your closing numbers for each different marketing source, and then your close rate on dispo, it shouldn't be very hard. And the thing is, if you exceed or miss that goal, you're able to go look at the prior quarter and make decisions and look at data and how do I improve that, or where did we miss it? Did we miss it on the leads? Do we miss it on, does it take a lot more deal or a lot more leads to get a contract? Does it take more contracts to sell to close? So on and so forth. It's almost a tool to track what you're doing, how you're doing it, and you
Right.
actually have to look and dive into the numbers.
Well, it's really cool because it makes things predictable, right? Like, instead of just
Exactly.
like, "Hey, let's make 100 calls today and let's cross our fingers that we'll get a deal." If you break it down, like you're saying, you say, "Okay, hey, look, you're responsible marketing guy for generating 20 leads a day," for example. If he
Right.
generates 2, then that kinda slows down that's no one's going to hit their goal. Right. And I'm
Right.
assuming you have the same thing. It's like, hey, recruiter, if you don't recruit, like 2 people this month or this quarter, like we're probably not going to, hit. It's going to affect everyone else. Right.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
awesome. And I love it. I think that's absolutely amazing to be able to, uh, look at life as like, let's reverse engineer this stuff, right? And that's actually
Exactly.
what I teach now. It's called reverse wholesaling. My last name's Payne, so I call it painless wholesaling because I say the traditional way of wholesaling is very painful. Just
Right.
trying to get a deal and just find a buyer. So I say, hey, get a buyer, especially with the market shift. Find buyers that are actively buying
100%.
and just go find them what they want. And I love Batch for that because I will, I'll call my buyer Nate Worthen, for example. I'll say, yeah, hey Nate, where are you buying right now? And he'll say, look, Nate, to say, hey, I'm buying in Indian Hills neighborhood, for example, 3-2s. So I'll go with Batch, search Indian Hills neighborhood, 3-2s, under 500,000. And I'll pull that list. And right there, I have a great idea. If I find a motivated seller or a deal, I already have a buyer there. I don't have to
Right.
blast this thing out, worry. And I think that's kind of the play right now for me, at least, is let's be a sniper instead of like a shotgun approach with the market, the way it's shifting.
I mean, I literally was on a podcast an hour ago, and he said someone getting started. I was like, go find your buyers first, and then go look for what they want because
Yeah.
now you have property sold. There's no point to go get something under contract and you don't have anyone to sell it to. You just did all this hard work for no reason
Yes.
whatsoever. It
Yeah.
makes no sense.
We're on the same page. I'm preaching that like from the because what's happened over the last 2 years is property value skyrocketed, inventory was low, so anybody could get something and sell. But now we're going back to the old ways where it's like you need like your 10 to 15 solid guys where you can just make some calls and get a deal done. And that's what I'm doing, and it's working great. But I think some people just don't really know about this method, even though it's like the original way to wholesale, right?
Yeah, I mean, I went to a Kent Clothier thing in 2014, 13. I mean, that's what he preaches.
Yeah.
Dude, reverse wholesale.
Yeah.
Like that's what you should be doing. And I mean, once you get to a point and you have a big list, but like as your point being right now, we're in a different market. Like what worked yesterday doesn't work today. And if you're gonna own a business and truly be a business owner, I love it when these people that have been making money for the last 2 years that just got into it start complaining. And I'm like, yeah, but you're a business owner. You have to pivot. You don't
Yeah.
think that I'm having to pivot due to this market and we're
Yeah.
having to build things to make differently to make sure that you guys are having success. The strong are going to survive over the next year or two. And you're going to have to look at things differently. You may not be making as much as you did last year or the year before, but that doesn't mean you're actually doing a bad job. It means you're in a different market condition. You have to adjust to it and adjust your expectations. You can't. Not every company, including big ones, are always going to hockey stick up. There's going to be bad quarters. There could be a bad year.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you're doing a bad job. But
That's
don't use that for an excuse either. I'm not saying,
yeah, for
but
sure.
I'm saying don't be so hard on yourself that just because what it was, but make sure that you build those systems and processes when the market shifts back to being more advantageous for you to have success. Now you could rocket ship back up and start really growing that business again. But you have to lean out. You have to do that sometimes.
Yeah, and exactly that was my pivot was, larger marketing budget, a bunch of reps, and I said, hey, let's lean out. Let's target specific areas for specific buyers that I'm cool with. And,
Mhm.
that's going to be able to help you, maintain maybe, as you could say, maybe a rocky, we'll see what happens, right? If interest rates keep going up, but
I wouldn't even say rocky. I just say it's different. Like
different.
don't say it's bad. Don't say it's good.
Mhm.
There's still deals to be made. You're still making more money than you've ever made in your life.
Right.
And figure out how to keep that ball rolling. It's just different. And when the market's different, you're just making different money. It doesn't. Don't look at bad or good or more or less. Look at are you doing better than others? Or are you like everyone's going through it together? What type of mindset are you going to have? Are you going to look at it as glass half empty or half full? And
Love it.
you better figure out a way or understand that if you're having this negative mindset or attitude, a lot of other people are having it. So why don't you shift that, change it, and figure that makes it more of an opportunity. It's more people are quitting or
Yeah.
changing their budget or saying I can't do this. That's giving you more opportunity, and you have to look at, especially as an entrepreneur, you have to always be your greatest cheerleader, and you have to be positive, or else it could get really tough. It could get really lonely too.
Yeah. And I totally, I respect exactly what you just said. I agree with you 100%. And you look at it as opportunity. And I do believe that right now is going to probably be one of the greatest opportunities, as sellers, I know, because I'm on the phone with them, are extremely motivated right now. They're extremely motivated, which is, we're here to help them. That's what we do, right? We help them
Hmm.
present options and help them sell their homes. So let me ask you, as we talk about mindset, how has your mindset changed from when you first started even getting into wholesale, like maybe when you were younger, to where it is now? Like I just looking at you, I'm like, dude, I don't think anything can phase my boy right here, Jesse. He's got a strong mind. So did you always have a strong mindset, or did it develop over time?
I've always been very competitive, but um, I think learning. How do I put this? I think really understanding, you know, collaboration over competition is don't don't be out for just yourself. How can you help and impact others? Don't always what's in it for me. Once I learned that, just having having that abundance mindset really changed my outlook on. And if someone doesn't have that, then you don't have to work with them. But like I try and go in and look at everyone in a positive light, see how I can help them. Now I'll identify quickly if someone's trying to take advantage of me or my time and
Right.
doesn't and isn't reciprocating, because Go Giver is one of my favorite books. You're supposed to give, but you're also supposed to take as well. Like you're able to ask and get help too. And people that are just takers, I cut them out. I want people that have huge ambitious goals. I want people that are complete givers, and those are the people that I'm around. So it's really the people that I put myself around. Speaking back to the Brandon Simmons
Mhm.
mastermind that we were talking about, is those are all incredible people that really change kind of the outlook of uh, how I think and how I set goals and how ambitious. Because like when I'm like, man, if you're around a bunch of people that aren't doing much with themselves and you're the big dog, they're all going to be looking up to you. But when you go in there and you see someone outworking you and doing all these great things and having all these huge goals, it makes you want to be better, and it makes you guys want to help each other. How can I help you get there? How can you help me? What can we do together for us to get there faster? And that's when I really shifted my mindset and stopped worrying about what's best for Jesse and what's best for everyone, and how do we do this together, and how do we help each other grow? Because, you know, um, you know, it's just been incredible to the journey that I've been able to have. And I couldn't say how thankful I am for all those guys in that room.
Wow, that's powerful, brother. That's powerful. And I feel like the people can feel it that are watching and will watch this. Cause this is it, man. Like as I've been leveling up in my, that's what I say, I'm leveling up, right? It's amazing to see the amount of people that I've been able to surround myself with that are, I guess, more successful or higher up. They're just so much, well, they're just kinder, not kinder,
So
but
let me stop you there for a second. Don't look at someone like that.
Mhm.
They're just further along in their journey, or they're a few chapters ahead of you. Don't say they're more successful. Don't say that they're leveled up past you. No, they're in a different
Yeah.
place in their journey, my friend. You're a few chapters behind. Don't discredit all your hard work and what you've been doing.
Thank you. And sometimes I need that. I need that because sometimes I look at you or other people and I'm like, man, like you said, they're above it. But when I get in the room with you guys, it's like there's so much. Like you can just feel the go giver mentality from people that are success. Well, then in a different chapter, right? And it's amazing because I'm a part of some other masterminds, and with what you could say is people that are further along, and it's just crazy like how willing they are to help you. Like we met for maybe like 15-30 minutes and I just felt like, hey, you have my best interest in mind, right? You wanted to help me. You might never even see me again, but I felt like that time that you gave me was, you gave it your all, right? And I guess my perception of people like that in the past was like, oh, they don't have time for me. They don't care about me. but it doesn't seem to be like that as you meet people that are further
But
along and they want to give back.
at the same time, you've given back to us and to me by helping with Batch and promoting us and giving and doing a video for our channel every single week. If I didn't give to you with expecting nothing in return, would you have done the same for us?
Um, I mean, probably not, right? Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying, and then you gave back to us because you're like, "I'm thankful for what they've given," and it's just a great snowball effect that happens, and
right.
think about this for you too, is like you're thinking of the people that are further along in their journey,
Hmm.
but I guarantee how many people have you helped that look up to you the way you may look up to someone else, and I'm sure you do that all the time too, so why should you feel bad asking for people's time?
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's something that I've kind of learned to get past is just as I reach out to you, Jesse, or anyone in the future, like, how can I serve you? And then, the law of reciprocity, like how can we work together? The synergy, right? Like, how can we create some synergy to help each other grow? And it's been
It
fun. It's been really fun.
and that's my point exactly, is like they may be able to help you with business or strategy or this or that, and you feel like what what I've gotten from a lot of people that want to get themselves in a better room is like they're like, I don't know what I have to offer, or I have nothing to offer them. That's not true. What you're offering me is helping promote our product, teach people how to use our product with a video every single week. Like I'm very, very grateful for that. You're offering something that's a huge benefit to us. It's
Hmm.
just what you're offering is going to be different. But if you really intend on finding value on helping them as they're going to help you,
Hmm.
you'll find a way to do it. It's just a different type of value.
Yeah. That's cool, man. And that go-giver mentality you're talking about, game changer in the sense that, like, you don't look at what can you take. It's like, what from people, what can you give? And I think that's the way
Right.
to live life. And that's really cool. So yeah, I'm having a great conversation with you, but I kind of want to wrap it up and ask you about this. This is really cool. I went to your office. That thing is slick, man. That office
Thank you.
is sweet. Let me ask you, when you were 18 or 16 or whatever, younger, did you envision that you were going to have such a cool office one day?
No, I mean, it took me a long time to really build my confidence. So like I mean, I didn't make more than $3,000 until I was 30 years old. So I have a very unique journey. I'm 37 today,
Mhm.
and I maybe it was like 28 years old, not 30. But I think my first six figure year was I was my 30 was my first six figure year, and
Wow. Yeah.
um, I guess when I was younger, everybody has hopes and dreams, but like, it never became a reality until, as I said, I'll go right back to that room over and over and over again. Is that room really did change how I thought, gave me confidence. It showed me, I've had a lot of mentors show me what it looks like to be successful. I wasn't, it all starts with the people that you're around, and I wasn't around the right people. Once you get around the right people and you have the right intentions and you want to be successful like they do, or you want to be successful with them, they're going to push and push and push. But like the people you're around every single day influence you more than anything. What is it, the law of the five people you're around the most or whatever.
Right. That's so you're saying that's true, 100%.
Oh, so true, so true. But my circles change and it's gotten much smaller because what a lot of people don't know and what holds them back is you do outgrow people. It
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you have to hate them or talk down to them, but there's some people that you outgrow that shouldn't be a big part of your life anymore. And you can't feel bad for that because they're hindering your growth. If they're not willing to become a better person as you're becoming a better business person and just a better person in general and self-developing,
Hmm.
uh, you can't feel guilty for that. And that was something that took me a little bit of time to get over. But I think that's one of the biggest struggles for a lot of people is understanding that you don't have to say they're bad or talk down to them. Just you
Right.
have to just slowly push yourself away from them. And it's not that you can never see them, but they just can't be that influence in your life anymore that they once were, or else they're going to hold you back with negativity, or they're going to resent you, or it's going to turn into a thing. And I've went through that, and now I understand that that's just a part of it, and I don't feel bad. And at the same time, I'm not
Yeah.
going to talk ill or bad about them. I'm in a different spot going a different direction you are, but it doesn't mean I don't want to see you or never talk to you
Right.
again.
Yeah.
It just means that we aren't where we once were. I mean, everyone's forever evolving, good or bad.
Yeah, and it's just the amount of time that you're willing to give that, right? The amount of
Yeah.
time that you're willing to give those people. So, man, this has been an awesome opening conversation. I appreciate your time, brother. And honestly, that office again, it was slick when I went there. I wish I lived in Arizona so I could just hang out with you down there because that place is sweet. I was there and someone brought in donuts, and I was like, "There's donuts here. This is sweet." Because
Yeah,
I work in my
it's
office.
a cool space.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool. It's slick. It's like the Google, kind of like how I would imagine Google to be, like of the, you know how it is. You're doing a great job, man. But anyway, hey, thanks a lot. We have some sweet comments coming in. I'm just going to show you at the bottom of the screen. We said, "Wow, guys, thanks for all this info, advice, and this conversation. Saludos, saludos." He's from San Diego. Then we got this guy saying, and it says Facebook user because they actually have to sign into StreamYard for us to see their name, but
Right.
we appreciate you anyway, guys. This is so great. Thanks so much. I'm streaming this on LinkedIn, and we got Jacob Rosen. That I barely get people from LinkedIn. So hey, thanks.
Nice.
Thanks for tuning in, brother. What else? Everything is very convenient now with all in one. So they're talking about the
Yep.
back. They love it.
I'm glad.
So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. I mean, there's tons of people saying that Jesse is the man. Love it. And yeah, you got fans. And guys, if you don't have Batchleads, there's no reason not to try it out. It's literally 7-day free trial. Like, it's a no-brainer. You literally can, Jesse, can't they just go and try it and then maybe pull some records and see how it works? And then it's just like, why wouldn't they do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely check it out. It's great. Someone will reach out, talk to you, see if it fits your business use case, and it's truly incredible product which help people get. I mean, I'm talking tens of thousands of deals have been gotten by using our platform, so it's pretty cool.
Well, you got a bunch of fans in here. Let's go Batchleads. All right. Well, hey man, we'll chat again. Hopefully, I'm gonna keep doing what I do. I'm gonna keep producing, showing people how to use Batch and making those videos. Those thumbnails are hilarious, by the way. That every time I see the video, I'm like, man, they're just making me look funny. But hey, I love it.
It's
Yeah,
probably, I'm sure it's Alex and Eddie over there, the creative guys in the studio with me.
yeah, they're having a good time. All right, man. Well, hey, again, pretty good time chatting with you. And if you need anything, I'm there for you. All right.
Appreciate you, brother.
Okay. See you guys. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.